Sony will lock your games, your games that you paid for, they will lock them if you don't log into the internet every 30 days. I'm not kidding. This should be online all the time. They want you to subscribe monthly, which requires you to connect to the internet every 30 days in order to verify your game license. MBG says, one of my viewers contacted PlayStation support about the 30-day DRM. The response they got makes it sound like this is not a mistake or bug. Okay, so that was one. They described it as a technical feature. Sony hasn't responded.
YouTube, welcome back to another episode. Today was a reactions. Thank you to everybody that's been showing this channel love and support by subscribing, liking, and commenting. I really appreciate y'all tuning into one of my latest videos for the giveaway details. We got a brief one today. I'm basically just giving somebody some news because I know I got a lot of gamers out there. And basically, when I logged in yesterday, Sony updated their new policy. And a lot of us don't be reading these new policies. But apparently, they added something called a content feature, DRM. And this basically says where if you don't log in or connect to the internet for at least 30 days, then they're gonna basically revoke your license for using the game. And this is for mainly digital games at the moment, but they expect it to expand into the physicals. But see, this is why I buy discs. Only way I intentionally get a digital copy of a game is if it hasn't released on the disc. But I'm not gonna talk too much because this is an informative video. All of the sources where this information is coming from is cited as well. Thank you to everybody that's been tuning into the website as well. Shout out to Clownfish TV for the clip.
Sony will lock your games, your games that you paid for, they will lock them if you don't log into the internet every 30 days. I'm not kidding. So I thought this was maybe being, the internet being over dramatic. I saw some people posting about it. They didn't fully understand what was going on with this. That's a DRM rights management thing. And it turns out it's true. If you buy games from Sony and you don't log into the internet every 30 days, you can lose the right to play the games that you actually paid for. What? So let's talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. This is Neon, and this is the utter state of the video game industry in 2026, right? So the original post went something like, PlayStation has been rumored that there is a digital rights management policy for the console. People thought it was a glitch, and now we have official confirmation. This comes from Pirate Nation. PlayStation support has confirmed that a new digital rights management policy for the console is intentional and not a glitch. Starting with any digital games purchased after the March 2026 system update, your PlayStation 5 will require an internet connection at least once every 30 days to validate the license. If the console stays offline longer than that, the game will simply not launch until you reconnect. This change does not affect any titles already in your library. Setting a console as your primary system also will not bypass the monthly check-in. This is some horse shit. And this is the same shit that Nintendo is pulling to with the virtual cards and all of that. They don't want you to own your game. They want you to be online all the time. They want you to subscribe monthly. This is why I think it's more important than ever. I think retro gaming is more important than ever. And I think that we need to have more consoles that don't require an internet connection. I mean, just a couch play console. We need this. But Sony and Nintendo are not incentivized to make something like this because you, dear gamer, are the product. You're the product. We need you to get onto the internet so we can sell to you. Hey, we got a sale on this new game. You want this new game, right? Yeah, you want to play these other games? Yeah, you got to subscribe every month. $20, $30, $50. It's not enough to just, drop $50 on the game anymore. It's you have to be a subscriber, a pay pig. So here's their official statement. This is coming from PlayStation support. Thank you for your interest in the 30-day timer that is being applied to all new purchases. Affected content, games purchased digitally after the March 2026 update. Offline functionality. If the console does not connect to the internet within 30 days, the license expires and the game may refuse to launch until a connection is restored. Fuck that. Primary console restrictions. Saying a console is primary does not bypass the 30-day requirement. The 30-day is a valid period and not a sign of the account restriction or anything like that. This is horrible. So Push Square clarified this. I was going to cover this earlier today, but I thought it was just a rumor and people misunderstood. I'm like, Sony couldn't be this stupid. Could they? They are.
Yes. Yeah.
They are. This is right now, given the state of the video game industry, this is literally one of the worst things you can do. It's coming from Push Square. PS5 confirmed to be affected by a game expiration issue. Sony's still silent. There had been confusion as to whether or not the PS5 was affected by Sony's alleged new DRM, which requires you to connect to the internet every 30 days in order to verify your game license. That's because, unlike the PS4, there's no disclaimer in the game information which states when your software will expire. SpawnWave has put together a video, and he said, yeah, it applies to the PS5. He tests 4 games, Saint Slayer, Vampire Crawlers, which is awesome, by the way. Vampire Crawlers. I just started playing it yesterday, and I love Vampire Survivors, and I bought it on launch day, and I didn't play it right away. I'm like, I don't know if I want to get into another vampire game. I'm like, damn it, here we go again. Anyway, it's really good. All 4 games boot normally when the console is connected to the internet. They also boot fine when taken offline, but in order to confuse the console's time verifier, he removes the CMOS battery from the PS5 Pro. In these conditions, Saint Slayer and Vampire Crawlers no longer load. Crimson Desert does boot. Pragmata works as usual. The error message that displays is as follows: can't use this content, can't connect to the server to verify your license. Wait a while and try again.
Okay, so you had a person who read the article, and I guess they didn't believe or they didn't know if it applied to the PS5. So he used 4 games: Saint Slayer, which was digitally purchased, Vampire Crawlers, same way, and Crimson Desert. And then he got Pragmata, but he got the disc version of Pragmata. Okay, he said now he uploaded them under normal conditions, and you know that of course they work. But then he disconnected the battery that confused the system. So the console was believing that that he hasn't been connected to the internet in 30 days. So after this, when he tried the game, the first 2 games, Saint Slayer and Vampire Crawlers, stopped working. They didn't boot at all, and they was purchased before the update period. Crimson Desert, which we all know was released earlier March or late March, he said that booted but irregularly. And the game Pragmata, that's the one he purchased the disc version for, that worked normally. So as you can see, basically any digital game that was purchased before March of 2026, I'm not sure exactly which day before the update actually, or any game that was purchased after the update digitally will not work if you will not connect to the internet within 30 days.
With the Switch, with the virtual game cards, because I think I've told this story before. What happened to me is last year we lost power for like 2 or 3 days here in Western Pennsylvania. It was awful. Like everybody lost power, and my Switch was fully charged. And apparently, right before the power outage, that's when Nintendo decided to do this virtual game card crap. Anyway, I had I have tons of physical Switch games. I couldn't play any of them, because I had to like assign the virtual rights or something to my Switch, which is the biggest load of horse shit. I'm like, I own these games. They're sitting on my shelf. I didn't think I needed to get online to play Final Fantasy X, but apparently I did. The only game that worked was my Genesis collection had the Sega Genesis collection because that was already in the system, I guess, when it went down, and it had already gone through the thing. But yeah, it's like, no, you need an internet connection because we need to verify that, because we have multiple switches. So it was like, we need to verify that this switch is using that game. And it was the dumbest. I was
Right, it's basically just control. It's definitely for control, because when you connect to the internet, your console interacting with the service and getting information back and forth. But that's absurd. That even games that don't require an internet connection to play, you will not be able to play if you are not connected to the internet. If you haven't connected to the internet within 30 days.
I was furious. Now I'm like, okay, well, it's fine. I'll go out and I'll play one of the other, many downloaded games. No, I couldn't play those either. I couldn't play anything. It was like, what is the point? Like, what is the point of having a console and buying physical games if you can't even play them? Now, in this case, we're talking digital downloads, but it is going to extend. I can almost guarantee you it will extend the physical copies as well. They want to get rid of physical games because they want you to buy the same game over and over and over again and be able to control, when you can play them, right? So some other comments here on X. Kaya here says, people really saying just connect to the internet, not a big deal. My brother in Christ, that's not the point. God forbid a natural disaster happens to you, or you can't pay your Wi-Fi bill 1 month and just can't play games you paid for until you reconnect. Doesn't matter if you have internet. It's a matter of principle. I agree with this. You shouldn't be okay with Sony arbitrarily taking away access to games you spent your hard-earned money on. The more comfortable you get with this, the worse it will get. And people are just going along with it, right? I mean, that's it. They're just like, well, what are we going to do? We got to play my PlayStation. I'm like, there are decades of older games you can play. I want to see somebody come up with a console, an offline couch play console, and be like, you know what? You buy this cartridge, you buy this disc, you own this game. Nobody can take it from you. You have no internet access. You take this thing to a cabin out in the middle of the woods. You just have a little TV and this game console, it's still going to work. That's what we need to go back to. Kaya says, we're frogs in the pot and they're slowly raising the heat, and some of y'all aren't noticing. No, I'm noticing. Here we have a Spanish PlayStation site. A user contacted PlayStation support and they confirmed this is real. It's intentional, not a bug. Bublik says PlayStation just confirms it's intentional. You bought a game, you paid full price, go offline for 30 days, it locks you out. Here's the part that should scare you. No public announcement. Nope. Not mentioned in the terms of service. Primary console doesn't help. Affects all purchases after March 2026. PlayStation support called a technical measure. Is that what we're calling it now? Technotica says Sony lost their minds. Enough already. Sony has put an expiration date on your PlayStation digital games. Starting March 21st, all purchased games include a hidden timer. If you don't connect to the internet for 30 days, they get blocked. Charlie Intel says PlayStation is reportedly requiring users to connect online every 30 days on PS5 and 4 to restore licenses for digitally purchased games. This applies for games purchased after March 2026. And yeah, so if you bought a game this month and you were not aware of this, what if you buy a whole bunch of games? What if you drop like $200 on games this month? Right? Maybe they had a sale or something and you buy a whole bunch of games, and guess what? You can't play them unless you go online. And again, most people are going to be like, well, of course you're going to go online. Duh. All the games are always online. I'm like, yeah, but they shouldn't be. They shouldn't be. An MMO, yeah, I get it, right? First person shooter, I get it. But like a platform game? I mean, I'm sitting here like vampire crawlers? I mean, seriously, it's what? Like you can't even play that? Sony remains silent, says Seth at midnight, because this was 100% intentional and they were hoping to push it through without anyone noticing it. Such a scummy company. MBG says, one of my viewers contacted PlayStation support about the 30-day DRM. The response they got makes it sound like this is not a mistake or bug. Okay, so that was one of their viewers. Okay, they described it as a technical feature. Sony hasn't responded. Shane says, if this was Xbox, the internet and games media would literally self-combust. Nick Tech says the new DRM on the PlayStation update is a disgrace to gaming. Sony should make a statement whenever this PlayStation support message is whether or not it's real or fake. This issue with a 30-day timer being applied to all new purchases isn't about having an active internet connection. It's the concept of ownership. Sony is taking away rights from users who purchase their games digitally. If you go offline for more than 30 days, you're locked from playing a game you bought with your own money. Yes, that's a lawsuit waiting to happen. Because again, at that point, you don't own the game. You're leasing the game, right?
Well, yeah, we basically pretty much leasing the games when you buy them digitally anyway. That's why I like to buy my games in discs. And I knew this was going to happen. When I see them making digital-only consoles, I kind of knew it was going to happen. I didn't know how they was going to unravel it, but I knew they were going to do something like that. When everybody that was used to joke about me buying discs, say, "Oh damn, bro, you still get the disc?" Yes, I still get the disc. This is one of the reasons why. I said, bro, when you buy the game digitally, bro, they basically got the right to tell you when you can and can't play it or not, whether you purchased it or not. I didn't know it was gonna go this far, but I knew they were gonna do something that manages the way you play your games digitally. But you guys let me know what you think about this down in the comments, because I'm quite sure it's a lot of PlayStation users on here. And I've heard them mention that Nintendo has already done it. And that's why I didn't get the Switch 2. I was pissed they dropped the Switch 2 right after they dropped the OLED version of the first Switch anyway. Like, bro, like that was just a waste of time. But let me know what you think about this down in the comments. Do you agree with this, or do you disagree with Sony digital rights management new policy? And if you watch my Michael Jackson video, you already know that Sony is a scummy company anyway. So to me, this is not even surprising. And I know that was music and this is gaming, but to me, it's still business. And Sony is crummy when it comes to business. If you made it this far in the video, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already, and join the channel. Thank you to everybody that's already subscribed. We just reached our 100 subscriber goal, so we is doing the giveaway. Be sure to check back to one of my most recent videos entitled Giveaway so you can get the details on how to win. Also want to give a brief reminder to everyone to go check out the website, The Urban Experience, at www.thaturbanexperience.com, where we offer a wide range of products including jewelry handcrafted from 100% pure copper. And we also got merch for all my streaming supporters, where you can get these hats or shirts, or you can request your own colorway. And don't forget that you can put anything on the brim of your hat for no extra charge. Be sure to check out the new flavors we just released at our Body Butters, Cotton Candy, and Strawberry. And last but not least, don't forget to check out the stuff we offer for absolutely free, including Xbox Series X and PS5 games. Before you shop, don't forget to join our mailing list, which is absolutely free. When you join, you get a 10% off discount code that can be used in conjunction with others, like Twitch subscriber codes and YouTube subscriber codes. Thank you to everybody that's been tapping in with us already. I really appreciate it. Thank you to everybody that's been subscribing, that's been commenting, liking the channel, and sharing. I really appreciate each and every one of you. This is the reason why the channel is growing. This has been another episode of T-Wizzle Reactions. Don't forget to catch me live on Twitch every day at 5 p.m. www.twitch.tv/TWizzleTV. Thank you for watching.